Reading from the book Gulshan Rose Garden of Mystery, by the 14th century Persian Sufi mystic Mahmoud Shabestari. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Part 1. The perfect face of the beloved. The eye and the lip. What is the nature of the eye and the lip? Let us consider. Coquettish and intoxicating glances shine from his eye. The essence of existence issues from his ruby lip. Hearts burn with desire because of his eye, and are healed again by the smile of his lip. Because of his eye, hearts are aching and drunken. His ruby lip gives soul garments to men. His eye does not perceive this visible world, yet often his lip quivers with compassion. Sometimes he charms us with a touch of humanity and gives help to the despairing. It is his smile that gives life to man's water and clay. It is his breath that opens heaven's gate for us. A corn-baited snare is each glance of that eye, and a wine shop lurks in each corner. When he frowns, the wide world is laid waste, but is restored every moment by his kiss. Our blood is at fever point because of his eye, our souls demented because of his lip. How he has despoiled our hearts by a frown, how he has uplifted our souls by a smile. 1. If you ask of him an embrace, his eye will say, yea, his lip, nay. He finished the creation of the world by a frown. Now and then the soul is revived by a kiss. We would give up our lives with despair at his frown, but would rise from the dead at his kiss. When the world meditates on his eye and his lip, it yields itself to the intoxication of wine. The mole. The single point of the mole in his cheek is the center from which circles a circumference. The two worlds circle round that center. The heart and soul of Adam evolved from there. Hearts bleed because they are a reflection of the point of that black mole, and both are stagnant. For there is no escape of the reflection from the reflect. Unity will not embrace plurality, for the point of unity has one root only. I wonder if his mole is the reflection of my heart, or my heart the reflection of his mole. Was my heart created from his mole's reflection? Or may it be seen shining in his mole? I wonder if my heart is in his face, or if his mole abides in my heart. But this is a deep secret hidden, alas, from me. If my heart is a reflection, why is it ever so changing? Sometimes tired like his brilliant eye, sometimes waving to and fro as his curl waves, sometimes a shining moonbeam like his face, sometimes a dark shadow like his mole. Sometimes it is a mosque, sometimes a synagogue, sometimes a hell, sometimes a heaven, sometimes soaring above the seventh heaven, sometimes buried far below this earth. After a spell, the devotee and ascetic turns again to wine, lamp, and beauty. The curl. If you ask of me the long story of the beloved's curl, I cannot answer, for it contains a mystery which only true lovers understand, and they, maddened by its beauty, are held captive as by a golden chain. I spoke too openly of that graceful form, but the end of the curl told me to hide its glory, so that the path to it should be twisted and crooked and difficult. That curl enchains lovers' hearts and bears their souls to and fro in the sea of desire. 100,000 hearts are tightly bound, not one escapes, alas. No single infidel would remain in the world if he could see the shaking aside. Of those black curls, and on the earth there would not remain a faithful soul if they were always in their place. Suppose they were shorn. No matter, day would increase and the night disappear. As a spider spreads its nets to ensnare, so does the beloved in wantonness shake his locks from off his face. Behold his hands plundering Reason's caravan, and with knots binding it tight. Never at rest is that curl, ever moving to and fro, making now night, making now morning, playing with the seasons in wonder. Adam was created when the perfume of that amber-scented curl was blown by the wind on his clay. And I too possess an ensample. I cannot wait for a moment, but breathlessly start working anew to tear my heart out of my breast. Sore troubled am I by that curl which veils my longing soul from his face. The cheek and the down. The theatre of divine beauty is the cheek, and the down is the entrance to his holy presence. Beauty is erased by his cheek, who says, "Without my presence you are non-existent." In the unseen world, the down is as green meadows, leading to the mansion of eternal life. The blackness of his curl turns day into night. The down of his cheek holds the secret of life. If only you can glimpse his face and its down, you will understand the meaning of plurality and unity. His curl will teach you the knowledge of this world. His down will reveal hidden paths. Imagine 7 verses in which each letter contains oceans of mysteries. Such is his cheek. And imagine, hidden beneath each hair of his cheek, thousands of oceans of mysteries. Such is his down. As the heart is God's throne in the water, so is the down the ornament of the soul. Part 2. Beauty, the marriage of the soul, descending to the earth. That strange, intoxicating beauty of the unseen world lurks in the elements of nature, and the soul of man, who has attained the rightful balance, becoming aware of this hidden joy, straightway is enamored and bewitched. And from this mystic marriage are born the poet's songs, inner knowledge, the language of the heart, virtuous living, and the fair child beauty. And the great soul gives to man as dowry the hidden glory of the world. The charm of beauty. From the unseen world descends heavenly beauty, and plants its flag in the city of earthly fairness, throwing the world's array into confusion, now riding the steed of comeliness, now flourishing the sword of eloquence, and all alike bow down, saints and kings, dervishes and prophets, swayed by the charm of beauty's fascination. Earthly beauty. Whence the charm of a fair face? Not earthly beauty, only can so allure us with its loveliness. Perchance we see in this, as in a cloudy mirror, the far faint reflect of the perfect face. And these deep feelings of delight and wonder can only issue from the one true beauty, for in divine perfection there is no other partner. Nor is it all desire and lust that tempts men's hearts with longing. Evil appears but as the other side of truth. Part 3. The sea and its pearls. A drop of seawater. Behold, how this drop of seawater has taken so many forms and names. It has existed as mist, cloud, rain, dew, and mud, then plant, animal, and perfect man. And yet it was a drop of water from which these things appeared. Even so this universe of reason, soul, heavens, and bodies was but a drop of water in its beginning and ending. When a wave strikes it, the world vanishes, and when the appointed time comes to heaven and stars, their being is lost in not being, the sea of being. In being's silver sea, lustrous pearls of knowledge are washed up on the shore of speech, and dainty shells bring poems in their curving forms to strew the beach with beauty. Each wave that breaks in foaming arcs casts up 1,000 royal pearls that hold strange murmuring voices, gems of devotion, joy, and love. Yet though 1,000 waves at every moment rise and fall, scattering pearls and shells, yet are there ever more and more to come, nor is that sea of being less some by one sheer drop. Pearls of knowledge. In the sea of Uman, The pearl oysters rise to the surface from the lowest depths and wait with opened mouths. Then arises from the sea a mist, which falls again in raindrops into the mouths of the shells at the command of the truth. Straightway is each closed as by 100 bonds, and the shells sink back again into the ocean's depths, bearing in their hearts the pearl drops which the divers seek and find. The sea is being, the shore the body, the mist, grace, and the rain, knowledge of the name. Human wisdom is the diver who holds enwrapped in his garment 100 pearls, the soul in a swift lightning's flash, bears to the listening ear voices and messages from the shells of knowledge. Then when the husks are opened, behold the royal shimmering pearls. Part 4. The journey, the forsaking. See, your companions have gone. Will you not too make a start? If you desire to take wing as a bird, then leave to the vultures this carrion world. Forsake your relations, for your real friend must be sought. He who is drowning in the sea of not being must cast aside all relationships. What are father and mother, sister and brother? Your very son may be your enemy, yet may a stranger be your kinsman. Even your fellow travellers on the mystic path must be renounced. All relations are a bond, a spell, a fairy dream, an absolute illusion. Omit not the duties of the law to them, but have regard to yourself. Abandon gold and women, for they are a source of anxiety. The traveller on the path, it is he who knows from whence he cometh. Then does he journey hastily, becoming as pure from self as fire from smoke. Unfolded to him are a series of revelations from the beginning, till he is led away from darkness and sin. He now retraces stage by stage his steps, till he reaches his goal, the perfect. Thus is the perfect man evolved from the time he first exists as inorganic matter. Next a breath of spirit, and he is living, and from God draws his motive powers. Next, the truth makes him lord of his will, as in childhood his discernment of the world unfolds. And now, the world's temptations assail him. Anger appears and desires of the flesh, and then avarice, pride, and gluttony. His nature becomes evil, worse than an animal or demon. Now is he at the lowest point of all, the point opposite to unity. Should he remain fettered in this snare, he goes further astray than the beasts. But if there shines a light from the spirit world, divinely attractive, or if he can find a reflection of proof, then will his heart respond in a feeling of kinship to this light of the truth, and he will turn back and retrace his steps from whence he came. To faith assured he has found his way. Through certain proof, or the wonder and attraction of the divine, he throws away his selfhood utterly, and ascends in the steps of the most pure. Exhortation. Though the world is yours, you remain dejected. Who so pitiable as you? You who are a man, arise and pass on. Wait, not day or night at the halting stages. Tarry not behind your fellow travellers and the caravans. The 2 steps of the journey. The journey of the pilgrims is 2 steps and no more. One is the passing out of selfhood, and one towards mystical union with the friend. Fear. As the Arab racer needs not the whip, so you will not need to fear when on your journey you have started. When purified are your soul and body, you will not fear the fires of hell. Throw pure gold into the fire. If it contains no alloy, what is there to burn? Logic. If God guides you not into the road, it will not be disclosed by logic. Logic is a bondage of forms, a road that is long and hard. Leave it for a season. Like Moses, cast away that staff, and enter for a while the valley of peace, the infant and the youth, the young infant in the cradle, stays at his mother's side. But when he is grown manly, he goes forth with his father. So you remain with your mother, the fleshly elements, until you join your father up on high. The almond tree. As the kernel of an almond is spoilt utterly, if it is plucked from its husk while unripe, so error in the path of the pilgrim spoils the kernel of his soul. When the knower is divinely illumined, the kernel ripens, bursts the husk, and departs, returning no more. But another retains the husk, though shining as a bright sun, and makes another circuit. From water and earth springs up into a tree, whose high branches are lifted up to heaven. Then from the seed of this tree 100-fold are brought forth. Like the growth of a seed into the line of a tree, from point comes a line, then a circle. When the circuit of this circle is complete, then the last is joined to the first, intermingling. You are plurality transformed into unity, and unity passing into plurality. This mystery is understood when man leaves the part and merges in the whole. Chapter 5. Time and this dream world. Time. The past has flown away. The coming month and year do not exist. Ours only is the present's tiny point. Time is but a fancy dot ever moving on, which you have called a flowing river stream. I am alone in a wide desert, listening to the echo of strange noises. The dream of life. You have heard much of this world, yet what have you seen of this world? What is its form and substance? What is Simurg, and what is Mount Kaf? What is Hades, and what is heaven and hell? What is that unseen world, a day of which equals a year of this? Come and hear the meaning. You are asleep, and your vision is a dream. All you are seeing is a mirage. When you wake up on the morn of the last day, you will know all this to be fancy's illusion. When you have ceased to see double, earth and heaven will become transformed. When the real sun unveils his face to you, the moon, the stars, and Venus will disappear. If a ray shines on the hard rock like wool of many colors, it drops to pieces. The phenomenal world. The world is an imaginary figure, a diffused shadow of the infinite. One breath created the worlds of command and all living things, time and this dream world. As they appear to come forth, so they appear to go. Though there is no real coming and going, for what is going but coming? All are one, both the visible and the invisible. God Most High, the Eternal One, creates and destroys both worlds. The varied forms you see are but phantoms of your fancy, and by revolving quickly in a circle, appear as one. The real and the unreal. The imagination produces phenomenal objects, which have no real existence. So this world has no substantial reality, but exists as a shadowy pageant or a play. All is pervaded by absolute being in its utter perfection. There are many numbers, but only one is counted. This world, a mirage. The house is left empty save for the truth, for in a moment the world has passed away. Then you, rid of self, fly upwards and are united to the beloved. Union is yours when this dream world fades and dies away.